I've been rewatching Bob's Burgers, and I know they say it's a family show, but it's kind of making me question that. Anyways, let's get into this. Most TV shows like to focus more on the middle class and lower class, which makes sense because, well, for one, it's relatable to a large audience, and two, it feels like there are a lot of obstacles and fun things you can play with to make your characters miserable. And with the Belchers, they are definitely, well, I don't know. They're like having fun, but also always struggling.
You're going to be on your best behavior right now. The landlord, Mr. Fischoeder, is coming over to talk about the lease, and we don't know if he's going to renew.
He'll renew!
Well, we haven't always paid our rent on time.
We never pay our rent on time.
So as I was watching this, I realized that Bob's Burgers could actually be successful. Like, they don't have to struggle as much as they are. I think it's mostly because of the writers, but let's get into this. I'm not gonna go through every single episode and every single season, so I'm just gonna focus on mostly, I guess, the first season and a bit of the sixth season. Let's start with the first season, episode 3, when Randy Watkins decides to do a documentary on Bob's Burgers, or mostly on Bob.
Hi, how are you? What can I do for you?
Are you Bob?
Yeah, I am.
I'm Randy Watkins, the documentary filmmaker.
Okay,
So to summarize this episode, Randy is trying to make Bob feel bad for serving meat by giving him the choice to slaughter this particular cow. Yeah, so he puts the life of this cow in Bob's hands. Whether Randy wanted to do this or not, this documentary has brought a lot of people to Bob's Burgers. So even though Bob's getting a lot of customers, he doesn't like the reason why.
Linda, the documentary is about me being an evil cow killer.
Murderer!
Oh, come on, Bob. There's no such thing as bad publicity.
And I agree with Linda. Bob starts feeling really bad because this cow's life is in his hands. Which I think is kind of weird. Why is this Randy guy giving Bob the choice whether to kill this cow or not, and like trying to make Bob the bad guy? But if Randy's the director or producer or whatever, he could easily stop this. And in the end, spoilers, the cow dies from shock, which is kind of funny but also sad. And in the end, Bob learns that, I don't know, it's kind of hard to say what he learns, but he learns that you can love animals while also eating animals, I guess. And you can also see that there are people still in here, so they're still making some money. So his restaurant is doing great, right? Well, not so much when you go to the next episode, because then it's like things start all over again. There's just no one there. Also, after this episode, you never hear about the documentary ever again. So I'm pretty curious what happened to that. Whether the writers are like, yeah, we don't need that anymore. But I feel like if this was the real world, the documentary definitely would have stirred something in the film community or with audiences. And I think it would make Bob's Burgers more popular. Season 1, Episode 5. Okay, so in this episode, Linda starts talking about this dream she's always had, I guess. Or, I don't know, she's very spontaneous, so I can't really say if this was something she's always wanted, but she's definitely someone who likes theater. So she decides to put this play together with her family. On the first night, you do see there's a lot of people in there. It doesn't really go well. I mean, they're all working on a budget, so of course it's not like super glamorous. But everyone was excited, like excited and traumatized. Like even the cops came. So for the second night, there's a robber, but the customers don't know that he's robbing them. But everyone loves it. And it helped their show become successful, at least a little successful. They even got a good review from a blogger.
Hey, the online reviews are in. Listen to this one. It's from Who's Your Daddy, 1997. The plot made 0 sense, and the set looked like children made it.
Yeah, children did make it.
But the reason to go see Dreamatorium is the closing musical number. The chemistry between the robber character And the lonely morgue operator was sparktastic.
But for Bob, this is all wrong, and this dude, this robber, stole their money, and he needs to be put in jail. Even though the restaurant is getting all this attention, he'd rather this guy go to jail rather than probably ride this little wave of publicity. Like, Bob isn't really a businessman. He focuses more on whether things feel right to him, to his family, rather than publicity, whether it's good or bad. And he just enjoys making his burgers. Bob just needs someone to work more on the business, or to focus more on the business, so that way he can just focus on making burgers. And then I feel like his family would be well off. Like, a lot of people like his burgers. Like, even his kids like them.
The people, he'd be making burgers. Really good burgers. Don't tell him I said that.
We try not to compliment him.
Even some random chefs came to his restaurant and they're like, dude, this is great. You should hang out with us. You should be friends with us. And he does hang out with them, and they do become friends. And he's like having an awesome time. And then it was just really weird how they ended the episode. So basically, Bob just couldn't keep up with their partying every night while also going back to work every day. I feel like he could have just told them that, like, hey, I can meet up once a week or once a month to hang out with you guys. But instead, he just cowered in his apartment and told Linda to tell them that he's not there. And I thought that was just pretty weird. But I guess the writers are like, okay, we need to cut these people off because we can't have Bob changing. He can't grow as a person, or he can't grow financially at all. So I did not like how abrupt that was. And it's kind of frustrating to see a middle-class family messing up so much and missing opportunities. And I don't know, because like everyone's struggling right now, and I'm sure some people would want to see at least one family making it, just giving a little bit of hope. Like, yeah, it's possible. Like, if this family became rich and they can support themselves, then there's less for the writers to really work with, because I guess it's easier to write characters who have a lot of money problems because it just gives them more obstacles and it's just more writing material, which I understand. But at the same time, it's kind of annoying and frustrating to see a family not doing well when there's like all this potential, and it's just constant moving back to where things were before. I know the point of a sitcom is that you can watch any episode without having to watch everything in order, but it would be nice to see something different. Personally, I think it'd be more interesting to see a middle-class family or a lower middle-class family starting as underdogs and become successful dogs, and to see this family who grew up pretty humble navigate a completely different life that they don't know and that they are learning. And there is a show that's already like that. It's called The Beverly Hillbillies, and I feel like there's just so much comedy potential in that. I think it would be interesting to see what the Belchers would do if they had a lot of money. So if the Belchers were successful, I think the show would still be pretty interesting. I know Linda would definitely be pretty extra. The kids would get into so much more trouble. And maybe the kids would have a choice to go to like a private school. And I can see the kids being like, no, we just want to stay at our public school. The dynamic in a lot of relationships might change and whatnot. Like, that's a whole lot of possible content and episodes for Bob's Burgers. And I can see like Bob probably going through different workers. Like, maybe for once he tries to hire someone and it doesn't work out. And maybe, I don't know, he tries to like hire someone to be the chef, but then he's like, no, I want to be chef. Like, I don't think I want anyone else making the burgers. I think the family could definitely support each other with things changing, especially how everyone's treating them, probably differently. Maybe some good, maybe some bad. And then I can see Linda like maybe joining some fancy smancy club and she's trying to make new friends. And maybe most of the women don't like her, but I'm sure there's definitely one lady who's going to be like, I like how crazy you are. We should be friends. I feel like it would be interesting to watch. There's just a lot of potential. I also think like maybe if the writers and producers are like, you know what, we should kind of like start wrapping the show up. Yeah, I would definitely have a few seasons of them becoming successful and being successful and then kind of end it. I would watch that. Oh, and maybe like another thing is from what I've seen and what I've heard and stuff, people who are so used to being middle class, like it doesn't matter how much money you give them, people still like have the same kind of habits of just being used to only having this much amount of money in their bank account kind of thing. So I can definitely see like maybe the Belchers, they're just kind of going up and down with their success. I guess kind of how it is now, but like things are drawn out more. Like maybe once in a while they go broke and then once in a while they're just doing really well. An example of Bob's Burgers where there was potential for more publicity was when this random guy came up to Bob and Linda and said that there was this mobster that was killed in their restaurant and he could order a plaque for them, like a historical plaque for them, to put on their restaurant. And Bob's just like, no, I don't want it. But he gets it anyway.
I don't know. Do we really want to be the murder restaurant?
If it comes with a plaque like this, sure.
He's like, I really don't want this. My customers knowing that someone died here, because that's gross. It wasn't until Pesto, when he noticed that Bob got this historical plaque, Pesto's like, well, I'm going to get a plaque too. So I don't know if that's a real plaque that he has here, but it brings in a lot of customers. And the only reason why Bob was like, I need to tell everyone the truth of what's going on is basically because of his hate for Pesto. And the amount of energy he puts into making sure his restaurant does not change at all, it's exhausting. Honestly, he should just keep the plaque and it'll bring customers in. I don't know why he's so against things changing. I mean, I kind of do get it, but at the same time, it's like, this is so exhausting, Bob. I don't know how you do this every day. But then if he didn't put all this work into keeping things the way they are, Bob's Burgers, I guess, wouldn't really be a show. So here's season 6, episode 15. His friend Warren says like he's bankrupt or whatever. And I feel like that's the reason why he goes to Bob, because he knows Bob has a restaurant. And Warren sees that as like an opportunity for both of them to make money. So his friend Warren tries one of Bob's burgers.
Damn, this is a great burger. I mean, I was ready to like it. I had a fake compliment locked and loaded, but I really love it.
Thanks. What was the fake compliment you had?
Man, this is a great burger.
And of course, this is a really good opportunity, right? Well, later down the line, as Warren starts making some changes to the restaurant, Bob's like, this doesn't sit right with me. I'm not liking any of this.
We'll think of better ones, but you get the idea. See you in a bit.
A theme? Lynn, we already have a theme. It's a restaurant. Restaurant theme.
It'll probably be just a couple things to spruce up the place, you know? Nothing crazy.
I do think Warren should have given Bob like a heads up, like, hey, this is my vision for the place. What do you think? There could have been a little more collaboration, but all in all, like, Warren's ideas for the restaurant was helping, like people were coming in. And Bob was thinking a little too short term. Instead of being worried about everything changing, I mean, I know the restaurant is like his baby. This is his dream. He started it. I'm sure he wants to like continue it himself. But if someone was bringing more customers to you, and it's not like his friend Warren was doing anything wrong, he just decorated the place and it brought people there, and people were interested in the restaurant and checking it out. Instead of just like telling Warren like, hey, I don't want any of this. I don't want to be partners with you anymore. Bye.
Aloha! Hey, tiki theme. Nice. ID here. You're finally doing something right, Bob. Pulled your head out of your butt, you washed your hair, and everything's fine.
He could have just like ran with it for a few years or so. That way he can save up money, maybe tell Warren, like, hey, let's start another restaurant somewhere over here, and then, you know, make that a tiki themed place, and then just change the original restaurant back to the way it was or something. Or they should have just like written out some kind of document like, hey, this is what you will focus on and this is what I will focus on when it comes to the restaurant, and just follow that. Bob's just like, no, I'd rather do things based on how I feel right now, and this ain't working out. He got the check back and gave it back to Warren. And in the end, Warren's just like, family. Let me just get rid of this check. And good on you, Bob, for speaking up. And let's just not work together and neither of us make money. I didn't like this episode. And you know someone like Skip Marouge, who won that food contest, which is another good person to have in your network. He has friends. He has successful friends. They have their dreams. He has his dreams. And I'm sure like if they work together, they can help each other with their dreams and have them come true. So I mean it more in that kind of sense, not so much like, here, you give me all of this. It has to be a win-win thing and not a win-lose thing. If I had to guess, I think Bob just wouldn't want to ask people for help. He doesn't seem like the type who really likes handouts. But then he's also not really the type to like get outside his comfort zone. So I don't know, he's just kind of stuck in his little square. So Skip Marouge was able to get Bob this really awesome interview.
Bob's Burgers.
Hello, Bob! It's Skip Marouge, the celebrity chef!
Skip Marouge. Hi. I can barely hear you.
I'm in a helicopter. I just got off the phone with a journalist for Coasters magazine. They're doing a piece on unknown restaurants. It's like an undiscovered gems kind of thing. I told them they should try your place, Bob.
Oh, that's great. I mean, we're not unknown, Skip. I mean, I feel like we're sort of underknown.
And sadly, with a prank gone wrong, Bob ended up stuck on the toilet. But even so, there were like a lot of people that came. The news came, Channel 6 came, there's like people selling t-shirts outside the restaurant. Everyone's just like hanging out and like, I guess waiting for him to get off the toilet, or I don't know, they're just there. And it definitely brought more publicity. And Linda and Bob should just go back to news articles or whatever, print out and frame like every time Bob's Burgers was on the news or was talked about or was written about. Like, they need a whole wall for that. If I was Bob, I would do that. Like, he has like this whole resume of publicity that he is not using. I really think that the Belchers deserve more. They deserve better. These writers just need to let this family grow, financially grow. So comment below, Toilet Bob, if you agree.
Toilet Bob! Toilet Bob!
No, please don't chant that.
Oh, it's in a good way!
Toilet Bob! Toilet Bob! Come on, everybody! Toilet Bob! Toilet Bob!
I don't like it. How about just Bob?
Toilet Bob! Toilet Bob! Come on!
So I just want to end in a fake happy note with the Coasters writing an article about Bob's Burgers.
Linda, we're not in it. They were very clear they weren't going to write about us, and I'm more than okay with that.
Oh, you're in it.
Oh my God, we're in it.
What?
Read it, Dad, read it.
Bob's Burgers is more than an undiscovered gem. It's truly a one-of-a-kind mom-and-pop shop. Celebrity chef Skip Marouge swears that Bob serves the best burger he's ever eaten. We wouldn't know. We didn't try the food. But we did have a rather unique and strangely inspiring experience while we were there. This shabby little dive seems to hold a special spot in this dingy town's heart. Oh, there's a picture of me on the toilet in Coasters. We could tell you how that happened, but do yourself a favor, visit Bob's Burgers and ask him yourself. Hopefully, he'll be back on his feet by then.
Hey, this is the place!
Yeah, this is it. Come on in. We got business. Kids, grab some menus.
And the Belchers lived happily ever after and was never late on their rent again. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. I tried my best. This is my first analytical video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Laters!